What began as a poor weekend in Bahrain may have sparked the biggest story of the 2025 Formula One season. Max Verstappen, a four-time world champion and the foundation of Red Bull Racing, dropped a subtle but seismic bombshell after finishing 6th in Sakhir, triggering a clause that might allow him to leave the organization as early as this summer. Let that sink in. The driver who established Red Bull's modern domination may be packing his bags. The entire weekend was a mess. Verstappen began 7th and only made it up to 6th place, hindered by needless team errors, a lack of pace, and a car that simply wasn't in the right window. But what happened after the checkered flag was even more dramatic. Verstappen revealed serious structural flaws that could have long-term ramifications rather than just disappointment. What happens if nothing changes by Imola? There's now a good likelihood the Dutchman will pull the ripcord. From the moment Verstappen lined up 7th on the grid, Bahrain did not appear to be a normal Red Bull race. McLaren dominated the weekend, with Oscar Piastri winning ahead of George Russell, while Lewis Hamilton overtook Verstappen late in the race, triggering a frustrated team radio message. "I can't even brake anymore, it's just ridiculous." Verstappen's problems stemmed from a confluence of factors. During his first pit stop, Red Bull's traffic signal system failed, leaving him stuck for many seconds. His second stop was not much better, as a front right tyre delay resulted in a painful 6.2-second pause. "Everything went wrong that could go wrong," Verstappen said afterward. "The pace was very bad, so I think the position where I finished was the best that I could have done." However, pit stops were not the only concern. Tyre deterioration, overheated brakes, and overall imbalance left Verstappen with a car that couldn't compete, especially on the hard compound tyres. "We are even worse on tyres this year," he noted. "The brakes were a little bit better today because we were allowed to change the material, but the problem is not only the feeling in the brakes, it's also the tyres. They're overheating." This was not an isolated bad day. It was a total system failure. With Verstappen finishing 6th, 34 seconds behind race winner Piastri, Red Bull's core leadership held an unexpected crisis meeting on the paddock. Team manager Christian Horner, technical director Pierre Wache, engineering chief Paul Monahan, and advisor Helmut Marko huddled together to figure out what went wrong. Marko did not sugarcoat it. "It's a very difficult day for Red Bull. That's obvious to all of us. We have to get, as soon as possible, performance in the car again. And also, standards like a pit stop have to work. The car is not the fastest, and then the pit stops are not working. That is not acceptable." He continued, "We have a lot of problems. The main problem is balance and grip. And out of this, the problems with the brakes came up. Then the normal procedure like a pit stop is not working. So one issue comes after the other." Even Verstappen, who is frequently fixated on moving forward, agreed the situation is troubling. "We have our problems, and even if you win a race that doesn't go away," he said. "So we just keep discussing and keep trying to improve." But now comes the big twist. According to reports, Verstappen's long-term contract with Red Bull, which technically goes until 2028, includes a specific get-out clause. The clause permits him to leave the squad if he falls outside of the top 3 in the driver standings. And here's the kicker. That clause becomes active at the summer break. Verstappen is currently only 6 points ahead of 4th place George Russell. With a few bad weekends and ongoing poor performance from the RB21, it's not impossible to imagine that margin closing by July. If that happens, Verstappen may walk, or, perhaps more intriguingly, he might renegotiate his contract into a 1-year deal that expires in 2026, allowing him complete freedom to capitalize on whichever team gets the new engine regulations right. He would effectively be a free agent as F1 enters its most revolutionary year since 2014. According to multiple individuals close to Red Bull, the fractures are beginning to appear, not just in the car's performance, but also in the team's internal politics. Is there one sore point? Verstappen allegedly criticized the recent decision to dismiss Liam Lawson in favor of Yuki Tsunoda. That call was mostly made by Helmut Marko, who has long been regarded as one of Verstappen's closest pals at Red Bull. If their relationship is strained, it may pave the way for an exit. If Verstappen becomes available, who's ready to take him on? Mercedes have been open about their appreciation for the Dutchman. Team principal Toto Wolff has publicly praised Verstappen, but he is also battling with a driver lineup stalemate. George Russell is thriving, and rookie sensation Kimi Antonelli is already turning heads. Still, what if Verstappen shows interest? Expect Wolff to make room. Then there's Aston Martin. The Silverstone outfit has just signed legendary car designer Adrian Newey, and they'll be running Honda power units in 2026, the same engines that powered Verstappen to all 4 of his titles. Speaking on German television, Ralf Schumacher put it bluntly, "I'm pretty sure that if the upgrade on the car doesn't take effect by Imola and the new engine doesn't run quite as well, Max Verstappen will definitely leave the team." He added, "A bigger adventure awaits Verstappen at Aston Martin, together with Adrian Newey, whom he knows very well. He also knows Honda, and also a new factory that has a future." Verstappen has not offered an ultimatum. Not yet. But his frustrations are no longer simmering. They are boiling. Insiders now see the next Imola Grand Prix on May 18th as a critical turning point. Red Bull are planning upgrades, but they have to work. Because another result like Bahrain, or even a close call, with dropping to 4th place in the rankings, could be enough to trigger the exit option. What if Verstappen pulls the trigger? The entire F1 driver market explodes. Let us not ignore the elephant in the room. 2026. This is when Formula One's power unit regulations are completely overhauled. Red Bull powertrains, while promising, is a gamble. Meanwhile, Mercedes and Honda, both experienced engine builders, will be battle-tested and ready. Staying with Red Bull means betting on a brand new engine program in the hopes that it can compete with the best. Leaving implies buying time till he can join the team that does it right. When it comes to leaving a legacy, timing is everything. Max Verstappen has been the cornerstone of Red Bull's success over the last 5 years. What about now? The foundation is beginning to shake. Poor pit stops. A car that does not respond. Brakes that will not bite. He disagreed with a teammate's change, and a contract clause that allows him to depart. All of this adds up to one major storyline. Red Bull must fix the RB21 quickly, or risk losing the best driver on the grid. Will Imola deliver the breakthrough Verstappen requires? Will it be the beginning of the demise of one of Formula One's most dominant partnerships? The clock is ticking, and the paddock is watching. So, where will Max Verstappen go from here? Will Red Bull's enhancements in Imola be enough to persuade him to stay, or will another bad performance put him closer to the exit? Can a broken friendship with Helmut Marko be repaired, or is it too late? If Verstappen activates his exit clause, will Mercedes create room right away, or will Aston Martin, armed with Honda engines and Adrian Newey, become the more appealing long-term option? There's also the upcoming 2026 reset. Will Red Bull powertrains provide a competitive package, or is Verstappen considering a safer bet elsewhere? And maybe the most important question of all, will Red Bull's internal structure and performance under pressure be sufficient to retain the most dominant driver of his generation? The following few races will have a significant impact on the 2025 title competition. They could influence the future of Formula One. Is something about to change? Can Red Bull stop the storm? What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.